My name is Allan, and I'm working in business development for a company called Prismo Metals. The symbol's PRIZ, and it trades on the CSE in Canada. It also has an OTC listing in the U.S. Prismo Metals is an exploration company formed about a year and a half ago to explore for silver and gold in Mexico. They have two primary properties in Mexico that they're working. One of them is presently being drilled, and that particular property is just north of the Vizsla properties where they've had their phenomenal discoveries. And of course they have a huge drill program going. So we have a modest one going to the north of them, but it's a proximity play for us, whereas Vizsla is a little deeper. Our property called Palos Verdes actually has an outcrop, so we're seeing if we can tie a little more onto that, so that's underway right now. First target's at about 300 meters, and we're at approximately 200 meters drilling towards that target area. The second property we have is called Palos Verdes, and that's a much larger property in a different area in Mexico. It's not as advanced as the first one, and we're doing groundwork and ground truthing on that. Recently done a LIDAR survey, and that shows some good promise from old workings, so we're looking forward to doing some field work and eventually, perhaps later this fall, having a drill program there as well. Well, there are a couple things I think that are pretty important. Number one, it's a relatively new company. It only was created as a public entity about a year and a half ago, perhaps even a little less. The issue was done at 15 cents, and because of the reputation of the founders, it opened quite high, around 88 cents. It's since drifted back to a lower level like most other companies have. The recent financing that they have done, I think, is interesting. It shows the faith that the management has in the company. They owned, the principals and founders owned rights and warrants at 10 cents. They exercised them all, put the money back into the treasury. A cross was done at 15 cents to basically take care of the sale to create the capital, and the excess profit was put back into the treasury by the principals as well. And I think that's a pretty commendable thing and a big statement on their part, their faith and confidence in the company, that they were willing to do that. That put about 700,000 plus in the till, and that's created the activity that we're presently looking forward to. Well, I think the first thing is the property that's presently being drilled is interesting because there are some original holes there drilled a few years back that were over 2,000 grams of silver, which makes it pretty high and in a bit of a rarefied category. So I think if we have success in this present drill program at Palos Verdes, there would be a tremendous amount of leverage and torque in this stock. With 32 million shares out and the majority of it owned by management, successful drill program I think would be very positively reflected in the market to an extreme nature because it's so tight. At present it has a $6 million market cap, which is very, very low when you consider the people that form the company and the properties that they have. So that's the primary thing I look forward to. And the second thing is, on the second property, which we're not quite ready to drill yet, that's a very large property. And if we can determine that there is in fact a system in that particular property, it could be very expensive and even more exciting than the first one. So I think both properties are of merit. And then last but not least, I think because of Dr. McGaw and Dr. Gibson, if for some reason these properties don't pan out, and we're very optimistic that they will, I'm sure that they will find other properties to ensure that this company has a life on an ongoing basis to create further excitement and opportunities for investors.